Hello. This is Evelyn with Magellan College Counseling, and I'm here with Nicole, who is a school counselor here in the San Fernando Valley, and she takes just a handful of students with us every year. And I asked her to come talk to me so you get a better feel for her personality, and that will help you know if she is the right fit to work with you as you are searching for your college admission help. So thank you for talking to me, Nicole.
Thanks for having me, Evelyn. I'm happy.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about how your background and how you arrived at college counseling?
Yeah, so I am originally from the San Fernando Valley, born, raised, and currently still live here. I went to High Tech LA. It's a small charter high school in Van Nuys. And I'm a first generation, college student, didn't have much help sort of from my family with navigating that process, and my school counselor helped me tremendously, not just during high school but even when I was in college trying to navigate that. And I was fortunate enough to have an internship at High Tech LA while I was attending Mount St. Mary's University for my bachelor's degree, and I just really loved working in the school setting. I knew I wanted to work in education, maybe wasn't exactly sure which outlet, but I was able to work with my former counselor sort of in the college counseling area. And I really just fell in love with it. I think it's a perfect mix of working with students, working with parents, working with, colleges and traveling and it's a constant learning experience. You'll never know everything about college counseling or every college. And so you just every day, every year you get to learn more and more, which I love. And every student is so different. So every experience is very different. So really decided that was kind of my pathway. I went to UCLA for my college counseling certificate, was fortunate to do the internship at High Tech LA. And now I'm the director of college advising at High Tech. So I've kind of stayed there. They can't get rid of me. But no, I think it's like a perfect home for me and a really perfect area of interest for my personality and, my interests.
Yep, perfect. And we were talking, you told me you had sort of a philosophy about how to help students build that right list. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think it's a bummer because I think especially now, it's this mindset of like, we have to do all these things so the college wants me and the college picks me. And I really like to flip that and put the power in the student's hands because the student is choosing their college. Yes, we know about popular colleges or where, parents or cousins went and, but there's thousands of other colleges. And if we take the name away, we want to ask ourselves, like, is this the right fit for you? Is it a location that you're interested in? Do they have multiple, majors or areas of interest that you have? Are they going to allow you to, kind of maybe do things fun that's not in an academic setting, because you are going to be living, in this community for 4 years, or longer. And so I think it's really important for students to take back that power and really find the list of colleges that meet their requirements. And, spending the right amount of time of having that balanced college list, applying to some of the ones that are very selective, right? But range and safety schools don't mean bad schools, right? There's just different admissions process for those. So I think that's something I would like to educate students and their parents on, the amount of options so that they feel confident. They've applied broadly, they've gotten admissions offers from many places, and they're the ones who get to say, I want to go to this school at the very end of the process.
Love that. I love that. I was meeting with a student last week and I said something to her about in college, you will be in the classroom about 15% of the time. And she was shocked.
Yeah.
She was like, what am I going to do the rest of the time? I said, I know, that's why we're doing the research that we're doing.
Right.
And tell me what your favorite part of the college application process is.
So I love essays, which I know everyone is like, why would you like the essays? It's like the worst part. I love the essays because I just think that there's a very specific way to write them and they are very different for every student. And it's really not about what you write about, it's how you wrght about that topic,
Absolutely.
right? And really sort of, again, taking the power back, right? We're not trying to figure out what the admissions reader wants to hear. We're figuring out what we want to
Right.
tell them about us that really makes us, aside from my grades or my extracurriculars, like who I am as a person. So I really love sort of that brainstorming process with students, helping with the drafts and really sort of asking and prompting questions to get a little deeper, into that. And I do think sort of, once you're towards the end of your junior year or rising senior, you've done everything, right? You've done the grades, you've done the extracurriculars, if you're
Right.
taking tests, their scores are there, but you are 100% in control of your essays. And so, you can spend the time and really craft them and really make sure that your message is being conveyed, as you want, the college. And so I just love sort of that whole process, picking through it and just, at the end of it, I think the students really learn a lot about themselves too, other things that are important and sort of, qualities and values, needs, all of that they have. So I think it really sort of, it's not just a college essay, right? It really teaches you about sort of who you are and who you're, kind of wanting to become in the future.
Absolutely. It's definitely another opportunity for them to take control because it is
Mhm.
something that you can control versus, like you said, your grades are set,
Mhm.
your teacher recommendations, you obviously pick the teachers who say the best things about you, but you don't have control over what actually gets said in those letters.
Right.
Give us your thoughts on, you're a school counselor at a fairly small school, so you get to know your students pretty well. But
Mhm.
we work with a lot of students who come from much larger, mostly public high schools, where their
Mhm.
counselors don't really have a lot of time to spend with them
Mhm.
on their college process. So as you work through with private clients, how do you feel like you're doing something different from what they're getting at school or not?
Mhm. Well, that's what I kind of mentioned earlier. I love college counseling because every student is very different, right? So whether it's a private client or a student at my public school, they have very different, process, wants, needs, and all of that. I just really, you know, I think when students and parents reach out for that private counseling, they're really saying, this is important to me. I want help with this process and I want to know more. And so
Yeah.
I love that because, I have someone who's motivated on sort of the other end of this. And so, knowing how difficult I think it is for teenagers to advocate for themselves at school, to say, I'm unsure about this process and my counselor can't really meet with me, but I know that I want this and I'm not sure how to like get to it. I just feel very fortunate to kind of be that, middle person, because yeah, their school counselor is still going to have to do certain things for them, regarding the process. But, knowing that we can spend sort of that one-on-one time and asking, answering the questions that to us seem very simple and I'm not worried about, but are very, overwhelming for students and their
Yeah.
parents. So I'm very like, I love questions. Like there's no such thing as a stupid or dumb question. Like you've never gone through this. Why would I expect you, to know these things?
Right.
And so just encouraging, emails, communication, phone communications, ask away, right? And if
Right.
I don't know, we'll figure it out
We're
together.
gonna find
Right?
out. Right.
Yeah. So I think just, I mean, like I said, very different situations with every single student, but those students who want this, right, and are participating in it, I just feel fortunate to be able to sort of, be that person, at least one of them, to go to get those questions answered and sort of the help to put them in the right direction.
So you mentioned that you're always learning, which I totally agree. That's one of the things I realized when I embarked on this journey, like, oh my God, there's no way I will ever know everything.
Mhm.
And even if you think you know everything, constant changes, right? Especially over the last couple of years. But you have
Yes.
spent a lot of time visiting colleges, right?
Yeah.
So do you have
Yes.
any favorite colleges that you?
Ooh. Sometimes I visit one and I'm like, this is my favorite. And then I visit somewhere else and I'm like, this is my new favorite. Or I wish I had gone here.
Mhm.
I I love colleges on the East Coast.
Okay.
Just of the history and just a little bit different styles. I mean, I love California and it's just we're a little newer here.
Okay,
Um,
so
so Boston College is probably one of my
beautiful.
favorites.
Yeah.
But really on the flip side, like Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, I'm like,
Yeah.
and thankfully we're super close there. So I get to visit probably once a year with students.
Nice.
Um, it's so hard to pick. There's just so
Yeah.
many
Yep.
pieces, right, that make a
Yep.
college super
Yep.
awesome.
Yep. Totally agree. Totally agree. People ask me that all the time, and I'm like, I don't know what's the last one I saw. That's my
I
favorite.
know.
All right. Well, thank you for taking a few minutes to chat with me. Hopefully, as we, we put these videos up so people can just get a feel for your personality, and that helps them decide if this person would be a good fit to lead me. So thank you for chatting with me today.
Of course, I'm happy to do this. Thanks for having me, and I'm really looking forward to working with more amazing students this semester.